Hello, I'm Jenny Tomes. This little lesson is presented by Port St. Lucie Utility Systems, connected to the community since 1994. So, our little lesson is going to answer the question, who is Francis FOGberg? So Francis FOGberg and I, we're more like work acquaintances. We're not friends, we're work acquaintances, which means we work together quite a bit. I talk about him quite a bit, but that's where our relationship ends, okay? So I'm going to introduce you to Francis FOGberg. You're going to find out who he is, where he comes from, and how you can prevent him from showing up at your house, okay? We're also going to read a little book about him to give you a little bit more about his backstory. And without further ado, let me introduce you to my work acquaintance, Francis FOGberg. Francis, this is everybody. Everybody, this is Francis. So Francis FOGberg, so his last name FOGberg, fog in my universe stands for fats, oil, and grease. So I'm here in the kitchen because this is where you find fog at your house, okay? So Francis's big blobby head, all this yellow stuff, that's fog. That's fats, oil, and grease that goes down your kitchen sink. So it comes from things like bacon. If you're frying up bacon in a pan, you have that grease left over afterwards in the pan, right? So if you leave it in the pan, it'll harden. You should be scraping it out and just putting it in the garbage can. But sometimes that grease goes down the kitchen sink. So what happens when it goes down the kitchen sink, see, so let me back up. So here's a pipe that leaves your house. Everything that gets flushed, so everything that goes down the kitchen sink, that leaves the washing machine, the dishwasher, all the water that gets used in the bathroom. So everything that goes down the drain, the tub, the toilet, it all leaves your house out of the same pipe. So everything comes together and meets in this one pipe. So it's not very big, right? So this is a nice, fresh, clean pipe. Well, here is what happens when a lot of fats, oil, and grease goes down the drain. So that stuff hardens and forms this kind of clumpy coating around the inside of your pipe. So see how there's lots of space here for things to flow through? Not on this side. So with all that fog going down the drain, it creates this layer of this hardened fog, okay? So that's what Francis is made from. So we can't just blame bacon. There are other things that we cook in the kitchen that contributes to fog in your pipes. So if you are cooking ground beef, for instance, so that fat, same thing. You should be putting it in the garbage can and not putting it down the kitchen sink. Because once it goes down the kitchen sink and mixes together with the bacon grease, other things like butter or maple syrup or cream cheese, those thick, heavy dressings, that kind of stuff too can contribute to the fats, oil, and grease. If you're using a fryer, if you're frying things, that leftover oil, if that gets dumped down the sink, it's going to harden and form that yucky coating around your pipe, okay? So then you end up with a Francis in your pipe. Now, Francis isn't just fog, so let's take a really good look at him and see what else Francis has collected in the pipe, okay? There are other things that people flush down the toilet that should not be flushed. They should absolutely be thrown away in the garbage. So let's take a look at Francis here. So right off the bat, I see a Q-tip, right? So we use these in the bathroom. Sometimes people flush these and they really shouldn't, because then it's going to clump together with the fog from the kitchen sink and really create a clog and create a mess, okay? So around that Q-tip is hair, if you can see that. So if you're cleaning out your hairbrush, throw it in the garbage can. Don't flush it. All right, so this orange bit here, that's medicine. You should not flush medicine down the toilet or put it down the drain. That should be disposed of properly in the garbage. All right, there's underpants, there's sock. Some people flush clothing or diapers, washcloths. That stuff should not go down the drain or down the toilet, because this pipe is not very big. So if you're flushing clothing and diapers down a pipe like this, you are absolutely going to create a clog and possibly a backup into your home, which is nasty, which is what we don't want. All right, so let's get back to Francis. What else do I see here? I see bandages, Band-Aids, Band-Aid wrappers. I see cotton balls. I see dental floss. What else is on you, Francis? Let's see here. Oh, here we go. On the back of him, on the back of his head, lots of toys. There's trucks and a tank. There's some Barbie doll heads. There's Legos. Just because it could possibly fit down your drain or fit in the toilet doesn't mean you should flush it, okay? So you definitely don't want to flush your toys. And also, here we go on the back end here. These are wipes. Flushable wipes. So even though the packaging says flushable, do not flush these. They don't break down easily, and they will clump together, and they will cause a clog. Okay, so there's Francis. That's what he's made of. He collects everything that goes down the kitchen sink, the drain in the bathroom, and the toilet. Okay, so you do not want to. He's cute and all, but you do not want him at your house. All right, so let's read our little book about Francis so you can hear more about his backstory. So here's our book. Who is Francis FOGberg? Okay. So on the inside it says this book belongs to. At the very end of this video, I'll tell you how you can get your very own copy of the Who is Francis FOGberg book. But first, let's read the dedication. This book is dedicated to all of the amazing wastewater professionals who deal with the effects of fats, oil, and grease, or fog, every single day. So I hope this helps make your job easier. So here's a picture of some of our amazing wastewater treatment plant operators who deal with Francis every day. If he does make it down to the wastewater treatment plant, it really makes their jobs difficult. So we want to make sure we aren't creating any Francises for these awesome men and women that they have to deal with. Okay? Okay, so here's some more pictures of our employees who deal with this stuff. All right, so Francis FOGberg, the dirtiest guy I know. He collects flush stuff and prevents proper flow. Anything you put down the drain, in the kitchen or bath, builds him up bigger as it crosses his path. Francis is made of fats, oil, and grease, also known as fog. He's the glue that makes other things stick, causing a clog. Things like diapers, hair, dental floss, and wipes, coffee grounds, and cigarette butts are not good for your pipes. Those things should be kept out of the sewer and thrown away. Here are some small changes you can make and do every day. Put trash, litter, and waste in its place and grease in a can. Medicine is hazardous. For that, you'll need a safe plan. There are so many things to keep out of the sink because it can all build up faster than you think. So stop Francis FOGberg from his greasy caper and only flush the 3 P's: pee, poo, and paper. These good habits will protect our sewers and help make reuse, which is great for our planet, so let's all make this truce. Okay, everybody put your hands up. Let's make a truce. Francis, put your hand up. He doesn't have a hand, but you know what I mean. Francis, pay attention. Okay, got our hands up. I promise to keep fats, oil, grease, and trash from going down the drain. And I commit to spreading the message of this fog-free campaign. Okay? All right, so now that you're an expert on who Francis FOGberg is, where he comes from, and how he can form, make sure you're telling the people that you live with all about Francis and how you do not want him to show up in your pipes, okay? So back here, we've got one more picture of our amazing staff. Then on the back, we have one more picture. We've got a lot of people who have to deal with this stuff every day. Okay, so here's a complete list of everything you shouldn't flush. So a couple other things that we didn't talk about with Francis are tissues. So if you blow your nose, you don't need to flush it. Number one, you're wasting a flush on a tissue, but you don't need to flush it because it just contributes to all of the other things that are possibly going down the drain. So make sure if you use a tissue to blow your nose or wipe your face that you throw it in the garbage. Things like dryer sheets, people flush them. Paper towels, those are real thick. Those could very much cause a clog. Any kind of plastic or hazardous waste or even paint, keep that stuff out of the drain, keep it out of our sewer system, and you're going to help protect it and help make our friends at Port St. Lucie Utility Systems have a much better day, okay? So the cool thing about this book is that it's black and white, so you can color in all of the pictures of everything. So if you want your own copy of Who is Francis FOGberg, all you have to do is send me an email or have a grown-up help you. Send me an email at jtomes@cityofpsl.com. Say, hey Jenny, I watched the little lesson about Francis. I would like my own copy of his book, okay? And I'll get your information and I'll make sure I get you a copy. So again, send me an email, jtomes@cityofpsl.com, to get your Who is Francis FOGberg book for free. All right, so stay tuned. We have lots more little lessons where you can learn lots more.